Hello, listeners, and welcome back to Everyday Health Stories, the podcast where we explore the fascinating world of medical science through the power of storytelling. I'm absolutely thrilled about today's episode because we're diving into something that affects so many of us: back pain. Joining us is the one and only Dr. Kota Reddy. Dr. Reddy is a highly respected cardiologist and wellness expert with a unique approach to health that goes beyond traditional medicine. He is known for his expertise in preventive cardiology and metabolic health, helping patients achieve remarkable transformations by addressing the root causes of their health issues. With a passion for empowering patients, he combines cutting-edge medical insights with practical lifestyle strategies, making complex topics easy to understand and apply. Welcome back, Dr. Reddy.
Thanks so much for having me back, Anna. I'm really excited to share some game-changing insights about back pain relief today.
Oh, before we dive in, just a quick reminder to our amazing listeners to hit pause and subscribe to our podcast. You'll get notified of new episodes, gain access to exclusive content, and join a community that's making positive changes one story at a time.
And just to add to that, what we're going to discuss today is truly transformative. But remember that this podcast is for informational purposes only, right? Always consult your healthcare provider for any medical concerns.
Absolutely. So, Dr. Reddy, I've been dying to ask, what made you decide to focus on this particular aspect of health and wellness? I'm really curious about your take on nutrition for back pain. What foods should people be focusing on?
Anna, when it comes to back pain relief, there's one food that's absolutely incredible: eggs. They're basically nature's perfect healing food.
Oh, wow, really? What makes eggs so special for back pain?
Well, the amazing thing about eggs is they don't cause any inflammation in the body. And when you're dealing with back pain, that's exactly what you want. See, there are a few key things we need to consider when choosing foods for healing. First off, we want to avoid inflammation at all costs. Then we need to prevent dehydration, choose foods that actively help with healing, make sure they're packed with nutrients that are easy to absorb, and what's also important? They need to be simple to prepare.
That makes so much sense. But how exactly do you incorporate eggs into a healing diet?
Oh, let me share something personal with you. When I was 55, you're not going to believe this, I started lifting weights for the first time in my life. Just basic stuff like doing push-ups right here in my office. But here's the really interesting part. I started eating mostly boiled and poached eggs, like 10 to 14 a day, along with yogurt. And you know what happened? I gained 20 pounds of pure muscle and bone, going from 160 to 180 pounds.
Wow, 10 to 14 eggs? That's incredible. You must have seen some amazing results with your patients too.
Oh, absolutely. And what's really cool is that when you pair eggs with yogurt, well, it's like you're giving your body this perfect combination of nutrients for healing. Like they work together synergistically. You know what I mean? The protein, the vitamins, the minerals, everything your body needs to support that healing process.
Dr. Reddy, I'm really intrigued about the sleeping part of back pain recovery. What's the best way to position yourself for a good night's rest?
Oh, I'm so glad you asked that, Anna. There's this amazing technique that's it's absolutely game-changing. You take a large, soft pillow and place it right under your belly while sleeping on your stomach.
Really? That seems different from what most people would think to do.
You see, what happens is this position actually pushes your lower back upward, creating what I call a jackknife effect. And the results are just incredible. Like when I tried this myself, even after just 30 minutes of rest, I experienced about, a 90% reduction in pain.
Wow, that's huge. But is it comfortable to sleep like that all night?
That's the really nice thing about it. You can do it for as long as you're comfortable. And here's another position I found super helpful: sleeping on your back with a large pillow under your knees. This has been absolutely life-changing for me too. You know what happened when I started doing this? I was able to sleep for 5 to 6 hours straight without moving at all. And the pain, well, it just wasn't an issue anymore.
That sounds incredible, but do you have any tips for people who might be trying this for the first time?
Well, the key is to really experiment with the pillow size and position until you find what works best for you. And don't get discouraged if it takes a few nights to get used to it. Your body might need some time to adjust, right? But once you find that sweet spot, oh man, the relief is it's absolutely worth it.
Let's talk about something that honestly sounds a bit scary at first. Inversion therapy. What exactly is it and why does it work so well?
Oh my goodness, Anna, inversion therapy is just, it's absolutely fascinating. I've actually got this really interesting observation about animals that kind of explains it all. When animals are flipped onto their backs, they completely relax,
Really? That's kind of amazing.
right? And I started thinking about this, so I decided to try something. I began hanging upside down on an inversion table for like 5 minutes before getting my massages. And let me tell you, the results were just incredible.
Oh, wow. What kind of difference did you notice?
Well, here's the thing. My massage therapist actually pointed out that I had absolutely no muscle spasms, like none. And that's pretty remarkable, you know what I mean? It just shows how this simple act of hanging upside down can completely relax your entire body.
How long should someone use an inversion table for?
So, what I've found works best is using it twice a day, morning and evening. And when you combine this with that pillow technique we talked about earlier, well, the results are just, they're absolutely mind-blowing. Like in my case, after struggling with back pain for 4 whole years, it took just 2 weeks of this combination to completely eliminate my pain.
That's incredible, but is it safe for everyone?
While it's generally safe, it's super important to check with your healthcare provider first. Everyone's situation is different, right? But when it's appropriate for someone, it can be just absolutely transformative for their back pain recovery.
Something that comes up a lot with patients is concerns about cholesterol when eating lots of eggs. What's your take on that, Dr. Reddy?
Oh, I'm so glad you brought that up. It's actually really fascinating. While eggs and shrimp do contain high levels of cholesterol, here's the amazing thing. When you boil them, your body it doesn't actually absorb that cholesterol.
Wait, really? So you can eat as many boiled eggs as you want?
Exactly. Like in my practice, I've seen patients eating and consuming 10, 12 eggs a day with absolutely no impact on their cholesterol levels. It's all about the preparation method.
That's actually really good to know. What about making it practical? Because preparing that many eggs sounds like a lot of work.
Oh, that's such a great point. You know what I recommend to my patients? An electric egg boiler. It's absolutely game changing. You can set it up in the morning and it does all the work for you.
That does sound helpful.
Totally. And while we're talking about practical tips, if you're serious about this back pain recovery journey, I'd really recommend investing in an inversion table too. These two pieces of equipment, the egg boiler and inversion table, they're absolutely essential tools for making this whole process easier.
And combining all of this, the eggs, the inversion table, the sleeping position we talked about earlier.
Right. It's all about creating this comprehensive approach. When my patients commit to all these elements together, that's when we see the most dramatic improvements. Like the results they're absolutely incredible.
So, Dr. Reddy, if someone's dealing with back pain right now and wants to start implementing everything we've discussed, what would that complete strategy look like?
All right. Let me break this down into a really simple, actionable plan. I've seen this work incredibly well with my patients. First thing in the morning, you start with about 10 minutes on the inversion table, and that really sets up your entire day.
And then the nutritional aspect comes in?
Exactly. You want to fuel your body throughout the day with those boiled eggs and yogurt. Like aim for 10, 14 eggs spread across your meals, right? The key is consistency. You're basically giving your body this constant supply of healing nutrients.
That makes so much sense. And what about the sleeping position technique?
Oh, this is absolutely crucial. At night, you're using that pillow under your belly when sleeping on your stomach, or if you prefer, placing it under your knees when on your back. And then, right before bed, another quick session on the inversion table.
And how long should people stick with this routine to see results?
Here's what's really exciting. I typically see dramatic improvements in just 2 weeks when patients follow this complete protocol. You know what's fascinating? Some of my patients actually start feeling better in just a few days. But the key is, you've got to be consistent with all these elements working together.
2 weeks doesn't sound long at all.
That's right. And once you start feeling better, don't stop. These strategies, they're not just about pain relief, they're about maintaining a healthy back for the long term.
Before we wrap up today's fascinating episode of Everyday Health Stories, I just want to say, wow, we've covered so much ground on back pain relief.
We really have. And I just want to emphasize one last time. These methods aren't just theories, They're proven strategies that I've seen transform lives.
That's awesome, Dr. Reddy. And for all our amazing listeners out there, take a moment to hit pause and subscribe to the podcast. You'll get notified of new episodes, gain access to exclusive content, and join a community that's making positive changes one story at a time.
And please remember, this podcast is for informational purposes only and is not a substitute for professional medical advice. Always consult your healthcare provider for any medical concerns.
Dr. Reddy, thank you so much for sharing all these incredible insights today.
It's been my absolute pleasure, Anna. And to everyone listening, just start with one change, right? Whether it's the eggs, the sleeping position, or the inversion therapy, every step towards healing counts.
And that's all for today's episode of Everyday Health Stories. Until next time, stay healthy, everyone, and keep learning, keep growing, and keep listening to our podcast. Remember, every story has the power to transform lives.
Take care, everyone, and we'll catch you in the next episode.